There's more to this day than the armistice signing back in 2013. It was also designated UN Forces Participation Day. Jung-hee shows us how the nation honored the brave and selfless soldiers from around the world that gave their lives fighting for strangers in a strange land.
June 25, 1950. Some 75,000 soldiers from North Korea poured across the inter-Korean border. The UN Security Council immediately urged the North to halt its hostilities, but with no response coming, the Council called on the member states to provide South Korea with the necessary assistance. 16 countries sent combat troops and 5 provided medical assistance units. Almost 2 million soldiers were sent in total. After 2 years of ceasefire negotiations, the UN forces and the North Korean and Chinese forces signed an armistice agreement on July 27, 1953. The bloody 3-year-long war left 40,000 UN soldiers killed and 10,000 missing or captured. Where I'm standing right now, United Nations Memorial Cemetery in Korea is the only UN cemetery in the world. To commemorate those who fought and sacrificed their lives in the Korean War, the Korean government offered this land for UN's permanent use in 1959 through a joint agreement with the UN. A total of 2,300 war veterans from 11 countries are buried here. The UN flag is raised every morning, and flowers and national flags are laid on the graves of those who died on that day during the war. Visitors come from all over the world to pay respect to the war dead.
Our nation's soldier came here for democracy and freedom, and I written a quote in your Seoul war museum. Freedom is not free. So many nations fight for freedom, and the Turkey came here and support the South Korea people.
Only those who were killed during the war were buried here. But a few veterans who returned to their homes after the war expressed their hope to be buried at this cemetery when they die, mostly because of the comradeship they shared with their fellow soldiers.
These war veterans cannot be buried here according to our agreement. But the veterans and their families requested a review on this matter on a humanitarian basis, and the cemetery's commission approved their request. 5 more veterans have been buried here, and a burial ceremony for a Dutch war veteran is to take place next month.
The South Korean government invites war veterans every year so that it can show them respect. This year, roughly 130 war veterans from 15 countries visited the inter-Korean border town of Panmunjom and the National Cemetery to pay tribute to their fellow soldiers. They say during the war, there wasn't much interaction among different national troops. But they shared one clear goal, defending South Korea from the communist forces.
I met one from England, and I met one from Turkey. We're all a band of brothers. And we fought for a wonderful cause to keep South Korea safe and independent. It's very humbling. And if I had to, I'd do it again at 88 years old.
Among the countries that joined the UN forces, Ethiopia was the only African country that sent battle troops to the Korean War. Then Emperor Haile Selassie I sent his imperial bodyguards to South Korea right after the war broke out, and over 6,000 soldiers were dispatched to South Korea until 1965 for the war and the post-war reconstruction. Tadessa Metaferia, a war veteran from Ethiopia, says back then he was completely absorbed in the fierce battles, and now he feels proud that he contributed to making the current South Korea.
We got an order from the emperor that we should fight and win. So we fought until the end, thinking that we must win and we can't return. I'm very happy to visit Korea again. It's my first time in almost 70 years.
Support from UN member nations played a critical role in helping South Korea recover from the war and develop. Now it's South Korea's time to fulfill its roles in the international community as a recipient-turned-donor country to promote peace and freedom in the world. Jung-hee, Arirang News.